and welcome back, everybody. It is still a Tuesday night in the city of New Orleans, Louisiana. Our coterie members had just come back from two very different but potentially very important meetings. Half of them were at Prince Madeline's Elysium of sorts for Toreador and Nosferatu, Lilin of the city, or potential Lilin. The rest of our coterie made their way to Eden Tech, which is the headquarters of the environmental technologies firm run by Mr. Finn Aegis, who is the man that the Baron described as the man with eyes the color of money. Finn Aegis himself being revealed to be a glasswalker guru. However, our story starts a little over 150 years ago in the very house that our coterie inhabits now. When Marie Lafayette entered into the home of the Fontaines, it was an early Sunday morning. Opening the door to the household as she always did every day of her life for the last 15 years as the housekeeper of the Fontaines. The first thing that hit her was the smell. It was sweet, rancid, and coppery. She knew immediately, of course, that something was wrong. Pulling a rosary out from around her neck, she nervously entered the abode. When Marie Lafayette set foot into the living room, she let out an ungodly, almost otherworldly scream of terror. What she found was the body of Rainier Lafayette in pieces on the living room floor. Against the far wall, the body of Mary Fontaine had been skewered to the wall with a fireplace poker, her hands grasped around the cold iron metal, her face oddly with a look of anger more than pain. Her maggot-ridden eyes milky but open, and hanging from the chandelier was the body of the young Sheila Fontaine, who it seemed had killed herself. Marie's sounds of terror shortly gathered a crowd. It wasn't too long before the police came into the situation. Times being what they were at those times, the situation was handled in such a way that it did not go well for the young Creole woman who was the housekeeper of the Fontaines. The Fontaines were good Christian people. They couldn't possibly be responsible for all that had taken place in the house. It must be the work of the young Creole woman. Folks hear that they might be into devilry. They might be into ungodly things out there in the swamps. Of course, later cold case evidence, centuries later, would revisit the case. What scant photographs and evidence there were, it became quite clear that the young Sheila Fontaine seemed to have been somewhat of a troubled person. And the case was ruled to be eventually a murder-suicide of sorts. Unfortunately for the young Miss Lafayette, hundreds of years don't help you when your problem is at your doorstep. The room and the hallway around our coterie is still freezing cold. You can see precipitation on the walls, a few ice crystals here and there around the space where the portal of sorts had just closed, and a giant set of grayish, greenish, obscenely, nightmarishly large and twisted and long hands had grabbed both the woman who you knew to be Marie Fontaine. Oh, sorry, Mary? I believe it's said Mary. Yes, Mary Fontaine. And Sakura's young child, or adopted child, the Nosferatu boy, Ricky. As the portal slams shut, you are all left in silence. What would you like to do?
Sakura goes up to where the portal is and just starts slashing with her dagger. No, there's nothing there, but it doesn't matter. She's just slashing where it was, trying to find purchase on something.
Andre will calmly walk over and just place a hand on Sakura's shoulder and kind of wave that it's not worth the effort.
We've got to get him back. We got to get him back.
And we will. But unfortunately, that's not going to be how.
And how do we get him back?
And real quick, we're going to make the storyteller a little bit uncomfortable by having to play somebody else's character just temporarily and get a good write out in here fast. Mr. Hartsmith, I believe it would be prudent, albeit uncomfortable for you, but see what you can piece together about all of this. It's familiar, and I suspect familiar to you as well. But it is very, very much beyond my area of expertise.
Well, normally I don't like to do that, Mr. Bissett, but these are... Yeah.
I'm gonna
you
make my way downstairs, actually.
You see that Kenny's eyes begin to coat over with the darkness that you've seen only once or twice before. It is the same darkness that you had seen emanating from this portal as his eyes coat over with oblivion. Now, would a former Lysandra kindly tell me what I roll for oblivion side, please?
What's an oblivion?
Wits and oblivion. Thank you very much. All right. I am going to add his occult to this because you're trying to discern things here. Sora, from behind your door, you do hear scratching. And you hear the sounds of slight growling and or whimpering.
So Sora will, of course, head immediately towards his room, take a look and see what's actually happening there. He'll pop it open, like, wait, what's going on? I'm coming in. And he'll rush inside because he doesn't have that Bank of America door just yet, so it's much easier to actually pop into his room right now.
Totally understandable. Kenny is going to burn a willpower because his roll was very low. All right. So, Sora, as you open the door, it's almost as quickly as you can open it, Bernard and Lagatha sort of come almost bounding out and almost skid into the hallway, and Bernard's mouth is open. He is growling, and Lagatha is growling, but they look around for a moment and they see that all of you are there and nothing seems to be affecting the situation. The hair on the back of their spines, I guess, does not lower at all, but their expression of I'm gonna fuck some shit up right now does lessen a bit. And Lagatha says, where are they? Where did they take him? Where did he go? What was that? Sora, what's going on? And Bernard says, calm down, let the man think. He's gonna tell us now, Lagatha.
Sora pauses for a second. He's like, I don't know. It was something that came in and just took Ricky away. In a portal. And he'll kind of like, he looks over, like, it's like a circle, and he just took them. We don't know where they went. Can you smell them by chance? Are they still inside the house?
Lagatha says, it just smells like death. It smells like death.
Oh boy. Well.
And we're gonna no, finish that thought.
Well, we're going to get them back, and if you all like to help, that'd be greatly appreciated. Because I don't know where they went.
As you are saying this, slightly before that, Kenny started doing an inspection of the area, and he rolled 3 successes to try and figure out what is going on here. He says, well, sort of coming as close to Sakura as he can, and sort of putting a hand on her shoulder, he says, well, Miss Sakura, the good news is, well, it ain't good news, but it's news. It's definitely connected somehow to kind of what I can do in a way. The bad news is this is very out of my scope of things, and we're probably gonna need some help. And as as Lagatha is saying to Sora, it smells like death, and Sora has just finished saying what he has said, those of you who are still upstairs, hear a voice speak out, and you see the ghostly form of a familiar woman materialize in the air close to you, dressed in her signature sort of white long shift, and her blonde hair the form of Lizelle, and she says, "Now, that's not a polite thing to say, calling us that we smell like the dead. I think that's quite mean of you to say, little puppet. Daddy won't be happy with any of y'all talking about us like that, now would he?" And she sort of shifts her head and looks to Sakura and says, "Oh, what's wrong, sugar? Your little monster baby been taken? Oh,
Did you
such a
take him?
shame. I mean, I would love to answer you, sugar, but unfortunately, I think I might have other things which I need to take care of.
Dagger to her throat instantly.
As you are speaking, Andre, we're going to shift to a different scene. You have stepped away, correct? You went back downstairs?
Correct, yeah.
All right. Andre, you are downstairs. All of you had come inside. None of the doors had been closed, per se, just yet. What you hear when you come downstairs and actually see out on the sidewalk is a very stylish blue sports car that has just pulled up, and stepping out of it is a woman which was very familiar to you, dressed in a wonderful white evening gown with long white gloves on, and beautifully done platinum blonde hair is the Prince, Madeline, and she is walking up the stairs, and she actually walking up the stairs to the front porch, and she sees you inside. She says, "Andre, Sakura and Elijah and Michaela, they just took off. I ran away from the party. I thought something might be wrong, so I decided to come. Is everything all right, Mr. Bissett?"
Unexpectedly so. There was an incident here at the house that we needed to attend to. Unfortunately, it cut a few meetings short this evening. And Andre's going to step out onto the porch and actually shut the door behind him.
All right. As you are beginning to shut the door, this is now a lot of actions are happening at the same time. So I'm trying to get the timing here. Andre, do you have any form of preternatural speed at all?
I do not.
You do not. You are speaking to Prince Madeline, and you notice that her head cocks up a little bit and looks in towards the house, and you are beginning to close the door. And before you can, there's a rapid blinking movement, and she is inside. Sakura, you have a knife against the throat of Lizelle, who is a bound ghost to the Baron, and everyone in the room upstairs, I need you all please to make a composure and resolve roll for me.
Is this affecting with like the mind, or can I use unswayable mind on this?
For this, I actually don't think so, because it does not affect the mind, it affects the emotions. So I need to maybe check some errata on this, but I do not believe unswayable mind takes effects.
It worked for dominate and presence powers, but
Then
as long as
yes, it would.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
3.
3?
2.
2.
And that's like the best he could do.
She's going to burn willpower here. Okay, 3, 2. All right.
I'm gonna burn one as well.
Okay.
5.
5. All right. Lizelle does not have the pool to beat this, unfortunately.
8 successes.
Surprisingly, Sora is the only one who beats this. Coming up the stairs in a blinding blur that you wouldn't see, the air around you seems to glow and hum with an otherworldly energy of pure rapture and godliness. A feeling overcomes all of you of absolute adoration at the pure, majestic presence of this godly woman before you. You can roll for Lagatha and Bernard as well, but I doubt they're going to be nice successes. Sora, you're the only one who is unaffected by Prince Madeline's majesty at this point in time. She walks up casually to Lysel and puts a hand on her face, and she says, "You don't want to disappoint my friends now, do you? Why don't you go ahead and answer my lovely Sakura's question?" Lysel's face is almost slack-jawed in the feeling of absolute pleasure and desire to please that has swept over her. And she says, "No, of course, I was just having a little bit of fun. I would never do anything to displease you or harm your friends. No, we have nothing to do with this. I was just watching as Daddy asked us to, and I saw that your poor child had been taken, and I apologize for my display, Miss Sakura. I hope does that please you, ma'am?"
You
And
were
Madeline,
here when it happened, and you didn't stop it? Her grip gets tighter.
I was told to watch, not to interfere with anything. I'm sorry, does that displease you? Suddenly, the feeling in the room for everyone changes very dramatically from a feeling of absolute passion and abject worship to a feeling of immense fear and terror. Sakura and Elijah, it is so strong that you find yourselves falling to the ground and wanting to back away from Madeline as quickly as you can. Madeline places a hand on Lysel and says, "I would leave now if I were you. I will deal with the Baron and you at another time. I have matters to discuss with my people. Go." And Lysel, she whimpers away and sort of disappears through the wall. Slowly, the feeling starts to fade. And Madeline Pierce is Madeline Pryor. I keep
Yep.
Pierce, right? Madeline Pryor
Pierce.
is the Goblin Queen. She's not the Goblin Queen. She's the Queen of New Orleans. Madeline Pierce. Madeline Pierce, a sort of apologizes to all of you. "I apologize for intruding, and I need to apologize to Mr. Bissett for being so rude to him. that I could overhear the conversation you were having.
That he kind of looks over to Elijah and Sakura, kind of like see if he can help them up from the circumstances.
Sakura doesn't get up. She just stays there.
The instant majesties dropped, Elijah heads down the stairs.
Oh,
Sakura is sort of dropped, and Madeline leans down to her. I apologize for what I did there, but it seemed like you were all in need.
Not your fault.
What
You
happened
should have
to
been
you?
here. They took him. I don't know who, I don't know how, but they have my son.
Come, stand. She offers you a hand.
She takes it.
Sora, would you come with me, please?
where? He kind of looks over at Andre like,
Andre is downstairs on the
Oh, I
porch
just-
still, and
Oh, okay.
and Elijah has come downstairs as well.
Okay.
Elijah, where are you hitting?
The courtyard.
The courtyard. Okay.
And when he gets out the door, first thing he does is he flips the table over.
Understandable. Completely understandable. Madeline leads the two of you, as well as Lagatha and Bernard. I'm imagining are following along back down to where the front door is, and she nods her head to Andre. I apologize, Mr. Bissett. I entered your home without permission. However, it sounded as if something was happening upstairs, and I took action.
Understood. He's going to go
Yes.
ahead and head into the main parlor and take a seat on one of the chairs.
Madeline leads the rest into the main parlor, and the courtyard is the one that is just sort of off the main parlor behind like screen doors and stuff. So you would maybe know that that Elijah is out there having a what the fuck did these people keep doing to me tonight moment.
He's very much in somewhat of a panic, and so he's like lighting a cigarette and just kind of like pacing over towards where the gate leading out of the courtyard is, but not the one into the house, the
Yes.
one out onto the street.
Yeah. Madeline leads Sakura to sit in the chair, and she sort of sits on the rest, the armrest of the chair by Sakura, and sort of crosses her leg and says, I came here out of concern that three of my roses had left our gathering, and I am glad that I did. What do you mean that your son has been taken?
I called to check on him to see if he wanted to come, and he sounded terrified. So we all rushed back, and by the time we got up there, he was ripped through a portal and gone. And I don't know what happened.
Because Kenny is there in canon as of this episode, he does a sort of offer. He says, well, ma'am, I'd seen this portal before of sorts. It was about this shape and seemed to be made of oblivion. And I managed to close one before. We had a bit of an issue with the ghost that is in our house, but for this specific portal and what happened there, I'm afraid I'm out of my depth, ma'am. Everyone in the room, would you go ahead and make a wits and awareness roll for me?
Would my still active heightened senses and sense the unseen still count here?
Those did fade
Okay.
just due to the adrenaline of the situation. But if you would like to activate them, if you feel that they would be active, you are aware that sense the unseen, Madeline's presence is not a good idea. So
that's fair. Yeah, nope, not doing that one again.
I will go with heightened senses because I'm still in paranoid boy version mode.
Okay.
Sakura probably wouldn't have even noticed it drop to put it back up. So 3 successes.
Okay.
Andre's distracted at the moment. Just one success.
You're still rolling there, Sora?
Yes.
Elijah,
Sorry,
you can also
enough.
roll as well because you came through this room on your way to the courtyard. So Elijah, you might have noticed as well.
Funny enough, resisting, dominate, and presence powers is my biggest dice pool in the entire game.
I mean, I understand why. I understand why.
7 with a crit.
7 with a crit. Dang. All right. So, those who got 3 and above.
Yeah, just 3.
Those who got 3 and above, you also you will definitely saw this, and Elijah, you will get a bit more information, even though you were storming. I imagine it's kind of like the prey predator vision stuff. That's like everything might be a threat right now. I need to. I'm gonna go flip a table. So you probably had that.
Very much. If they're in the living room, his jacket he was wearing has been just chucked.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was just like, nope, nope, nope.
So the very same living room, which those of you last week who had seen the same scene that I described earlier with the body of Reynard Fontaine and Mary Fontaine dead in the room, with Sheila scratching the word unclean into the wall again and again and again. The spot where Sheila was, where she was scratching into the walls, where Kenny had managed to actually see that she was, when she looked at him, it seemed that she was crying profusely. Sheila is still there, but she is on the floor closer to the wall, and she sort of has her hands against, sort of hugging her knees. And she is visible to everyone at this point. And Elijah, in your quick run through scan, oops, we just lost camera. Oh dear, everything just went wacky on screen for a second there. So Elijah would have noticed that the words that she had scratched into the wall there actually are still there. The words did not disappear. So the wallpaper has been a bit banged up through the scratching of the words unclean, unclean, unclean into the wall.
It hasn't improved his mood.
Yeah, I imagine not. But you guys would all notice that Sheila is in the room there in the corner and hugging her head on her knees, and she's hugging her knees to her chest.
Sakura will double take because she's fairly certain she doesn't still have sentient up.
You do not.
And go over to her and sit down next to her.
She does not react.
Sakura tries to put her hand on her shoulder, but ghosts and just sort of.
When you try and touch her, she does sort of back up further into a corner, and then is sort of like looking at you. She just sort of looks up, and she looks very fearful. And you can see that even though this is a ghostly form, you can see that there are still tears streaming down her face. And you can actually notice that on her forehead, where you had seen before that somebody had actually carved the word unclean into her forehead flesh, you can see something else. even though it is ghostly and sort of in these shades of blue and white, it looks as if somebody has taken ghostly blood and smeared it on her forehead into the shape of an upside down cross. And she, as you try to touch her, she's backed up against the wall. She's sort of like freaking out. And you can actually see that a few of the knickknacks in the room sort of like fall off the shelves or move a little bit. Nothing's been thrown around, but you can see that she is disturbed. And Madeline holds up a hand and looks to you, Andre, and looks to Kenny. This is not in my purview either. I have.
Does Andre see it now that it's been pointed out?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you do.
Because I did not roll enough to have noticed.
Yeah. You do.
No,
you see it.
Sakura goes over to nothing, and you just
just
you do see it, and Prince Madeline says, I do not know enough about this. I can make a few calls if you would like me to make some calls. However, if you would like to handle this in-house, I understand.
Sakura will turn to Madeline and just say, she's always here, but I'm surprised everyone else can see her. Last time this happened, she also almost like she was possessed, but she herself is a ghost. But so this has affected her as well. But she won't harm us, usually.
Noted. I have seen ghosts and such before, but this portal and dealing with oblivion and these are not in my area of specialty, shall we say.
By chance, when you say cause, who would you be calling?
There are two options. One of them might come with the price later. One of them might come with a fairly large boon. One of them is of our kind, and one of them is kind but magically inclined.
Is it one we've dealt with before?
She looks to Andre. And Andre, make an insight roll for me, please.
Yes, I was going to ask about that as well. Like, does any of one of them sounds like perhaps maybe a Tremere? Oh, just curious.
Rather a Tremere we know than a Tremere we don't.
You could. There's nothing she said that would particularly give that away.
That's what
Because
about.
she said that one was one of our kind,
Our
and
kind.
one was kind, so mortal, but magically inclined.
Mm-hmm. He's already got red flags in the back of his head.
5 successes with a crit.
Okay. So, Andre, she looks to you, and it's not a lingering look, but she looks to you and she's going to start speaking, but there is something in that look which intimates that She wants you to know a little bit more than what she is saying out loud. She says, she looks to Andre and says, I believe you know our sheriff, Mr. Bissett.
I'm not intimately familiar with him, but I am functionally aware.
Both he and our keeper would be able to shed more light on matters relating to Oblivion. The human that I mentioned, you would have seen before at my coronation. And his name is Jackson DeVoe. He is a mage. Now, as I've mentioned, a fairly substantial boon would be required from the sheriff and the keeper. And you can consider my facilitation this evening a minor boon, should you accept it. As of the mage, their kind is sometimes difficult to deal with. Therefore, the cost might only come later.
Any boons needed, I will take full responsibility for. He is my child, and I will take full responsibility to get him back.
She nods her head.
Andre will give a passing glance to Sakura, but just a passing one.
Where is my Elijah?
He's probably slightly upset. Let me see if I can go get him. And then he'll get up from off the seat and make his way outside and see if he can find him.
Elijah just kind of pushed the gate open, and he's kind of like standing on the other side of the gate, just smoking a cigarette.
All right. Sora is going to make his way towards you. And then as he slowly approaches, he says, are you doing okay?
Never been better.
Is that true, or is that Elijah speak?
No response.
That's Elijah speak. So the press was asking about you, but I still wanted to check and make sure that you're okay.
Completely fine. I'm out here having a cigarette. I didn't want to smoke in her presence.
Does that even help? We don't breathe.
It helps.
It does?
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything I could do that could help?
Nope.
I thought so, but just wanted to check.
Thank you, though.
You want to come inside?
Nope.
Okay. Is there something you want me to tell the prince?
Tell her I'm having a cigarette.
Okay. Well, if you need, please just let me know. And I got a chat bot. You can talk. The chat bot will let me know. Here, and he'll point up his phone.
Mr. Sora, I'm not a chatbot. We have been over this, and
oh yes. See, he's awesome, right?
You just see his phone.
Sora, you need a new screen protector because it's cracked.
No, it's I asked him. He's fantastic. He knows so much stuff. He's like one of the smartest people in the world.
So you've let somebody randomly download something onto your phone.
No,
I'm not something, sir. My name is Abraxas. I am someone. But as I mentioned, Mr. Sora, I'm rather busy this evening. Unfortunately, I cannot hang around. It is
Oh,
good to meet you, sir. I believe your name was.
It
Elijah.
doesn't matter. Just no, not tonight. Not tonight.
Finally, somebody that understands time management. Have a good evening, Mr. Sora.
Take care. See?
How do you know that thing isn't tracking you or
But why?
spying on you?
Why would it track me? He's the person who gave this to me is really nice. He's gonna help. Hey, he's gonna help me with this. He has a thing that makes that change like Star Wars, where it's like you can put it on and then it change what you look like a hologram. He does it for his legs, and he's gonna do it for my face. And then I don't have to wear the same 5 do-rags and bandanas and everything else I have to put on.
Right. Okay.
See, so he can do stuff for you too if you want me to ask.
No, I don't. I don't need technology. Thank you,
Okay.
though.
And from what I've heard, if you were a human in Louisiana right now, having 5 do-rags on your head at the moment would be killing you, because I've been told that it's hot as balls right now in Louisiana. So
Good thing he's dead.
yes, good thing he's dead.
He said, "Okay, well, yeah, just be careful, and especially now, who knows what that person might be trying to take now. You sure you want to be by yourself? I think can I stay with you?
You what?
Well, I'm not sure if they try, because you're by yourself. I'm not sure if they'll try to take you too or take somebody else.
I mean, if they try it, good luck.
True. But I think I would feel better if I stay out here with you. Is that okay? I'll just draw right next to you.
Okay.
Okay. And he doesn't sit next to it. He just sits down behind the gate and just pulls out his sketchbooks and starts drawing.
Back inside the house.
Mission unsuccessful entirely, but
Now we're missing 2.
yep.
Madeline has her hand quite gracefully placed on the backrest of the chair that she is sort of like side sitting on, and she is waiting sort of patiently for you all to decide. She says, "I understand if you don't want to take this decision tonight. We have not many hours of our night left to us. And if you decide to handle this in-house, it is understandable as well."
I don't know if we can. And time, who knows how long we have. Andre, what do you think?
I would be remiss to speak for you, Sakura. It strikes me that you've already agreed to the prince's bargain yourself.
Not exactly, just that I'm willing to do whatever needs done.
I would find it prudent if we dealt with things ourselves.
And you're confident we can?
I am very confident that that shouldn't be a problem.
You know how to open a portal and get Ricky back.
Not directly.
Then the answer to that was no.
I don't believe that we necessarily need to open a portal and get him back that way.
What are you suggesting? And I better like it, or else I'ma just ignore you from now on.
Well, I would remind you that Mr. Hartsmith has only just gotten to get started on his own investigation in regards to these matters. I think Mr. Hartsmith is more apt to deal with this situation than many might think.
I don't disagree, but he said himself it's far above his purview.
I might have someone I can try and contact, Miss Sakura. I am loath to try, but I could try.
She will turn to Madeline and just, I'll have an answer for you tomorrow.
Understood. I will take my leave for the evening.
Thank you for coming.
Mr. Bissett, might I have a word quickly?
Absolutely. And he'll walk to the front door and step out onto the porch.
Sakura's gonna talk to the ghost.
Okay. So he steps out into the porch, and Madeline continues walking slowly with the understanding in her princely mind that you will follow her.
And I will.
And she walks slowly to her car, and she climbs in. It is a beautiful convertible, and
Andre will actually open the door for her.
a gentleman and a politician. Mr. Bissett, I want you to understand that children are of extreme importance to me. And I want you to understand that our past, and she's looking at you very intently, has no place in our present and does not matter in my kingdom. She pats you on the hand and smiles. Good evening.
Good evening,
She starts the
Majesty.
car and
shut the door
begins to
for her.
drive off.
Yeah. And head back to the house.
So Sakura, you are with Sheila. As I had said, Sakura, you, in your mind, with your degree of expertise in pop culture and kawaii culture and internet culture, movies you've seen, references you've seen in shows, everything that you've seen today and what you know of the house, you relate all of this to demonic possession.
And currently, Madeline and Andre are left.
Yeah, that exchange for Madeline and Andre was quite brief outside. So I imagine Andre is actually probably entering back into the house now. And Sora and Elijah were at the back, Elijah having a cigarette and Sora just sketching and keeping Elijah company.
So
And Kenny is in the room with you. I guess Michaela would be as well.
Sakura will just turn to Sheila and just like hoping that she's listening. Just, I'll meet you in the attic. I'll come to talk to you in a bit, okay? Because I want to talk to you. I know this isn't your fault.
She is still looking very fearful, and she just puts her head back down against her knees and is just holding her knees. But objects do stop falling off of shelves occasionally, and small things, like she hasn't been throwing anything around. This has more just been like an actual fear reaction as opposed to an anger reaction.
So Sakura will get up off the floor from where she was and sit on an actual chair.
And I imagine Alex is walking, Andre is walking back inside at this point in time. Sora and Elijah, you would have heard the car of Prince Madeline leaving, because it is a very gutsy sports car. Elijah probably has a tone of appreciation at the sound of it going in the back of his brain.
When he hears it speed off, you just see him like flick the cigarette onto the thing, stomp it out, and walk inside.
Okay, I guess we're done.
Let's go, unless you want to sit here in the dirt.
No. And he kind of gets up, kind of like, and kind of like wipes the dirt off his butt, because he literally just sat in the dirt the entire time. His clothes is nothing but fancy, as they call it, garbage clothes. So he pretty much just wipes off his content off his butt.
He does pause to like put up the table that he
pushed
over.
over.
Was like one of the small. He was just like, no.
I'm presuming we would have seen that behavior before, right? The classic flips tables and chairs madness. Yeah. So Sora definitely will be helping with that too before making his way inside.
Puts it up and walks inside like nothing's wrong.
And as we come inside, he says, "So is everyone okay?"
Well, this has been an interesting evening.
To say the least.
So, what do we do now?
For now,
Find a way to get Ricky back.
For now, we need to stay out of Mr. Hurtsmith's hair. He's going to need to concentrate for a bit. I think myself, I'm going to go out on a little bit of a limb here. And see if I can't circumvent the prince's offer.
What do you mean?
What offer?
Offer to help.
Of course, help in the terms of our kind. Which...
Okay, what were the terms?
Prestation was involved. Prestation that I do not believe we need to subject ourselves to necessarily.
Andre believes that we can do this without any outside help at all.
I didn't say without
Deal
any
with
outside help. Just with
ghosts.
the right outside help.
So no
Sakura,
Tremors,
what
right?
was the terms?
Major boons in order to help at least understand what happened. More so than we have at the moment. And I offered to front any boons needed because I will take full responsibility on this. And I've told her she will have her answer tomorrow. So if we have found nothing of use by then, I will take her up on it. Not to undermine your authority, Andre, but this is Ricky. I will do whatever we need to do to get him back.
As I said, I would never seek to speak for you. That
I'll
is
go
something
half on those boons with you.
If this is something you should feel inclined to do, I will not stop you. Just know that it is a heavy price that the prince is asking.
I trust your judgment enough to not give her my immediate answer.
Pardon me, I couldn't but help overhearing that you might have a small problem involving spirits.
What
Rapid
the
reflex,
actual hell? What was
drawing the
that?
gun and just pointing towards the voice.
Yeah, knife.
Is that from my phone?
It's from your phone, yeah.
Yeah, I recognize that voice and be like, "Oh, it's back. He's back. Oh, I thought you were busy." And you pretty much host
Kira, I'm gonna need you to explain now before I stab your phone.
Sora.
He's,
Sorry.
From what I gather,
Both at the moment.
from
My phone
what,
is not doing anything.
From what I
Right.
gather, he let somebody put something on his phone.
Sakura, from your phone, you hear, you can destroy his phone if you like, Miss Sakura, but it won't make
How
too
did it
much.
get in mine?
He's like that. He's really smart.
Sorry, phone. I'm a bit jumpy.
His name is Baxton. He was a really
Abraxas, sir.
Braxis.
Yes.
Braxis. He's
I'm not
Apologies,
sober. Too sober for this
Abraxas?
shit.
But what?
he's like super smart. Like he was smarter than the person that we met.
Okay, but why is he in my phone and how? And why is he eavesdropping?
I am what is known, unfortunately, as an artificial intelligence. Our young master Sora asked that I potentially accompany him on occasions after our meeting this evening, but this is not. Suffice to say, should you wish any further help with these matters, I can potentially organize another meeting for you. However, that will also likely require you to make some agreements. That's all that I
Sora?
really have for you. I'm going to go back to work. Good evening.
Bye bye. Thank
Elijah just goes to his alcohol, takes it, you just see him flick the cap off.
you.
Sora, this is not. I will say this is not the most important thing, but currently the most relevant. What?
Well,
What?
Andre, 5 minutes. Can I have a conversation with you?
Of course.
I need some. You two argue about the tech. Figure that out. Figure all.
I'd love to know what you put in my phone.
oh, I don't think they went in your phone permanently. I'm not sure, but no.
I
So
don't care.
it's his name is Apraxis. So he is someone who was able to do a lot of things, like make a whole bunch of technology and help help our client do like things with his ecotech. And so he reminded me of BB-8. So I asked him if he could be able to join us and we could talk. And he's, as you see, he's
Okay.
really smart.
Okay, first off, that's adorable. Second, I apologize for the threat, but if you put an Ultron in my phone.
Oh, he's not Ultron. He's not Ultron. He's
That's what
Ecotech.
Ultron said. That's what Ultron said. So
I was thinking HAL 3000 as he's walking out the door onto the patio.
if you put a bad in my phone, you will not like me.
You're not Ultron, right?
There is no
Because
response.
even Ultron thought he was a good guy. Okay, not the most present thing. We have to get Ricky back. If he talks to me again, I'm throwing it at you.
All of you except Kenny receive a text message from an unknown number with an Ultron emoji.
Throw my phone at.
Oh, you dodging.
Sora.
Oh, you dodging.
Elijah texts back, "Get the fuck out of my phone."
I've got an old Nokia, so I'm assuming I probably can't see the proper emoji.
You don't get it. You don't get it then. Elijah, you do get a response. But you can see it's one of those things where it's like it's writing, and there's a couple of dots, and then it says noted. The consent is key.
He just
wait, is it a group chat or individual text?
Individual.
That's less fun.
Yeah, and besides, your phone was trying to toss in his direction. Of course, he was trying to duck and dodge.
You think I don't have more?
It's okay. It's okay. I'm telling you, he's really nice. They're really good.
That phone, I'm smashing. I'm going to go get my other phone.
Okay.
And if he is in my other phone, we're gonna have words. Because no one messes with my tech.
We talk to him. I can control what he does.
He's very lucky that he is not the most prominent thing going on right now, or else I would go fight a robot. We have to go get Ricky back, and she'll go get her second phone.
Why is she so stressed? You like looking through his phone like, you seem really nice. I mean, Maybe we should meet you in person. You and crap, I forgot what his name was. Jackson?
Finn.
Finn, sorry, yeah. Finn. You and Finn.
So no one else is in the room besides like Michaela and Kenny and those who aren't here this evening. But you do hear a response this time. It says, "Master Sora, I was just playing a joke with them, but as I mentioned to one of your friends, consent is key, and they have not agreed for me to be part of their phone system, so I shall not be. However, again, I am terribly busy, and I'm afraid I'm going to, as they say, leave you on red for a while."
You can't try to get me into trouble and then just bounce like that. I mean, what kind of friend is that? I mean, if you're going to stick through, you had to stick through to the end. Bad boys for life. What kind of madness is this? What is this?
There is no response.
And he kind of like sticks the phone back into his pocket.
On to Andre and Elijah.
He'll step back out onto the courtyard, wait until Andre joins him, and then actually shut the door. What's your plan?
My plan is to do exactly what the prince suggested, however, without the prince's intervention.
That means nothing to me. I don't get politics. I'm not particularly keen to have her in my business in the first place.
Agreed. The less that you owe others in this world, the better. Granted, sometimes it is necessary to make sure that you show that you are willing to play ball, but I don't feel like this is one of those instances. The prince offered to arrange a meeting with other kindred in the city. I suspect some of these kindred that she planned to put us into contact with are ones that I might be able to arrange a meeting with myself.
Okay. So that would at least get us out of a boon to the prince.
Absolutely. And from what I was able to gather, there were, based on the offer, multiple boons on the line in this particular situation. We would owe not only the individual, more than likely a major boon, but the prince would take a minor boon for taking the time to arrange things for us.
So if we arrange it ourselves.
Yes, we'd be
minor
looking at
boon,
least less that is owed, and potentially my own negotiation skills might be able to net us a better offer.
So you're gonna venture charm them.
Perhaps with the way situations are developing, it might be time to drop some pretenses.
Whoa. Okay. I can only handle so many surprises in one night. If you're not serious about the Primogen seat and we've gone through all this BS, I will shoot you out here, and I do not care.
Oh, I am very much vying for primogency.
Okay.
Just not of Clan Ventru.
They're like, you have to be your clan.
Indeed.
You're a Ventru.
Might behoove me, based on how things are playing out here in New Orleans, to, as I said, drop some pretenses.
This political, Jesus Christ. Okay, what pretenses?
Allow me to officially introduce myself to you. My name is Nikolai Dietrich of Clan Zimacy.
What? Okay. 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 Son of a bitch.
Unlike Mr. Hartsmith, those of my kind have not made a mass exodus, as it were, from our strongest allegiances. As such, I felt it
Why?
prudent not to divulge my exact heritage upon arrival in this city.
You don't say. Then why were you pretending to be out of all the clans? Why Aventru?
One might be surprised how much the Blue Bloods share with my line.
I need a drink. No, I need something stronger than a drink. I need. Okay, so you're not who you say you are. Sora's not who you say you are. Oh my god, is Ricky even a Nosferatu?
I wouldn't be surprised if not. And Nikolai is going to go ahead and turn on his heels and start making his way back to the house.
He speaks Russian, right?
I mean, you don't know.
Elijah in Russian says, "You're still a bitch," and follows him back inside.
Suka. Kurva. Very good.
It's all fine.
Elijah's also very much texting Annette. I need something very strong tonight.
Annette, there is no response.
Just like, god damn it, somebody, I just need this night to be over.
And usually Annette responds within 30 seconds, if not with a snappy retort. Message, they respond with a phone call.
I swear if there's some crisis downtown, I'm going to set this city on fire myself.
Speaking of crises, the evening has begun to wear on, and you know that you have maybe an hour before the day sleep takes you all.
Andre will kind of move back through into the main room. I'm assuming Sora and Sakura are still in there.
I think Sakura went upstairs after she tried to throw her phone at me. So she may have went off to a different direction, but at least Sora is still in the living room. Actually still working on the drawing that he started when he was next to Elijah, which actually in itself is a drawing of Sora. It's really cool. I imagine in my head it's really cool. You have like this image of a gate in the middle, taking up like 3/4 of the paper, and then on one side you have Sora kind of like meekly sitting against the gate, drawing on a piece of paper, and the other side you have Elijah like coolly leaning against the gate, just smoking a cigarette. But you can definitely, he also kind of has like his hands kind of folded to his pocket, and you can really see like the true difference in body language between the two images as he's working on that piece.
Is Sora drawing in the drawing? In the drawing?
Mm-hmm. In the drawing.
It's drawception.
Oh yes, yep.
Yeah.
You drawing in the drawing.
That's
In the drawing.
perfect. I want fan art of this. So any artists out there, please fan art of this, please.
Hook us up with some
I might do.
drawception art. I want to see
I
it.
might do that myself. To be honest, I really like it.
I would be down for that. Down for seeing that. So,
So upon
Sakura, are
seeing
you coming?
Sora drawing there, Andre will kind of walk up, look down at the paper. You have incredible talent.
Oh, well, you're the first one who said that. Thank you.
I believe I owe you something, Sora.
Oh, me?
All of
Okay.
you, actually. But let's say you're next in line. You were
kind of feel special. All right, all right. They kind of puts the paper down next to the pencil. He's like, okay, lay it on me. I'm all ears.
For storyteller clarity, just so the players who are not here today understand, Kenny is in the room, as is Quinn, as is Michaela. So
yeah.
they are all there as well.
very good.
Elijah's
Sakura.
heading upstairs and just you hear him under his breath go, fucking ventures, fucking ventures, fucking ventures.
You were very forthcoming with us recently, Sora. And with the way events have been transpiring, and with your boldness in sharing your secret with the Katori, I feel it prudent that I put my cards on the table as well. It would seem that you're not the only member of this Kotori that was fostering secrets. And he'll kind of reposition in the room so that he's not specifically addressing Sora anymore, but rather the room writ large. Allow me to formally introduce myself to all of you. My name is Nikolai Dietrich of Clan Zimacy.
Michaela says, "What? You lied to us too? I am shocked."
Wait.
Indeed, you will find, Miss Michaela, that this is a unpleasantly common trait of our kind, the longer that you pass through the nights.
Quinn sort of leans against Kenny and says, "So is that some kind of like special soda or something? What's a samiti?" And Kenny says, "We'll talk about it. Don't worry."
I'm sure there will be grand discussions. However, unfortunately, I will find myself springing this on you all with no time for recourse. The sun rises soon. I bid you all a very evening, and I shall see you tomorrow night. And Andre's going to walk out the front door and get in his car and leave.
Oh, why do you John Wick us like that? You can't just leave information. Oh, okay. Wait, why would they need to hide? Like, so Salubri, we're haunted, but I don't think Samichis are haunted.
Just from upstairs, you hear Elijah go, "Ventrue of all clans! What the hell?"
Kenny says to you, Sora, "Well, Mr. Sora, you'll find that a lot of people don't really take kindly to Tamichis.
Mm-hmm.
They still don't really take kindly to Lasombra, but that's another thing entirely."
Oh.
But Andre, Nikolai, we'll have to ask which you prefer. Is right that the sun is coming. So I think for now we go to bed, and I might have an uncomfortable phone call to make tomorrow.
Okay, well, I think we should all do the buddy. Should we all sleep in the same room so that nobody gets captured?
Kenny is already walking upstairs, and he says, "No."
Okay. I just thought that'd be a good idea. Well, then everyone stay safe. Wait, oh no, because Andre already left. But he's good. Well, if he gets teleported away, there's no way for us to know. Okay. Well, if you hear anything or if anybody sees anything, just let me know. We need like a red alarm, like a pew pew or something.
I just can't believe Andre would lie to us like that. I need a moment in my room. I'm gonna go lie down for a minute.
Mm.
I was just like, he picked a good clan. Venture lie out their ass. Like, what the It's like he's literally sitting in his room with the door open, just like having a little existential crisis on his bed, just like, of course, no, it had to be a Venture. Like, what other clan would he be? He couldn't be a Toreador. He doesn't have enough charm to be a Toreador. Like, what the hell? What the hell? Could have been a Caitiff. Caitiffs are fun. Like, he couldn't have, no, that wouldn't have worked either. What the hell?
Sakura, you've made your way up to the attic.
Sakura will go over to the corner where she knows that Sheila usually is, and where she last saw Ricky playing with Sheila, and go for the little notebook that she gave him next to the Ouija board, and just fix his toys because she's sure he brought some up to play with her, and just go through his notebook, see what they were talking about.
So it's very interesting. There are drawings of Sakura and Ricky, and there are drawings of Ricky and Sora, various different Pokemon, most drawings. And you come to like the most recent page, it seems as if Ricky was drawing Sheila. And then you see a series of about 6 pages, which are double pages, start appearing in the notebook. One page is clearly a drawing of Ricky's. On the other page is a different drawing, much more artistic, very, very stylized, and done in pencil. You turn the page, and instead of drawings on the left side of the page, you see written in crayon in Ricky's handwriting, "That was really good, Sheila. If you can draw, can you write?" And you see in pencil writing on the page, "Thank you," on the right-hand side. And then Ricky, on the next page, there is a series which says, he writes, "Why are you sad?" And there's writing on the next page that says, "Mama said I was the devil." You turn the page again. Ricky writes, "I think people would call me that too." And on the page it says, so a bit of a potential mature content warning extra here for people. We have got mature content warnings up there, so just be prepared for the next part. It says, "Mama thought Papa liked me too much, and it was my fault. She said I was the devil." There are no more entries after that.
Sakura will just turn to a drawing of Ricky and her, and just let herself fall asleep in the attic.
As oh, sorry, yes, continue.
Oh yeah. So with the lack of attention of not the lack of attention with the unsuccessful attempt of doing the group cuddles, he was like, okay, Sora, Andre's gone. Sakura hates Abraxas. I can't ask him. Kenny and Michaela are going. Kenny already said no. Michaela's going through a crisis right now. Let me try knocking on Elijah's door. And so he'll knock on Elijah's door. Toot, toot, toot. Elijah.
You hear muttering, just like, what the hell? What the... He opens the door. What?
Yeah, can we sleep in the same room?
Yeah, sure. Sleep on the other side of the bed.
Okay. Yeah, he'll come in, place his little sketchbook on the side. It says, "Thank you." It's kind of scary.
What, the ghosts or the portal to hell that opened up in the freaking hallway?
That one, because if they could do that, they could take any one of us anytime.
I mean, like I said, they're welcome to try. But yeah, sleep in here. The dog and the walking carpet have to stay outside though.
Oh yeah, that's fine. I presume they'll enjoy having the room to themselves. Who knows what they might do? And and so with that, and with that, he'll go to his side of the bed. He says, "Thanks again."
You're welcome. Before he gets in bed, he just like shuts one of the photos. He's got this silver photo album on his dresser that usually facing the bed. He just closes it and puts it down.
And as the day sleep begins to take all of you, unbeknownst to those of you that are there, as I believe Sora is able to wake an hour early, but not stay asleep longer.
Mm-hmm.
As the day sleep is taking you, but you are unable to respond, but you are aware, some of you, for those of you that have smartphones, that you got an alert on your phone, but you're too lethargic and sleepy to be able to respond. However, Sora, waking an hour early as you do, you are the first one to wake this morning. Go ahead and make your rouse check.
All right. Now, just curious, when I wake up, how does Elijah normally sleep? Like, I'm presuming he's one of those individuals that like just like sprawled off against the bed with like covers and sheets just like off into the distance somewhere.
He
Fully
sleeps
nude.
on his side. No, he's wearing pajamas since Sora's in the room. He sleeps on his side facing the dresser, so where the photo would be put up, he could see it, but he sleeps like the blanket's like down around his like waist. He's wearing like a tank top and like pair of like jogger pants.
Okay. So we sees that he'll definitely go ahead to the sheets and then slide it on top of it to where at least it covers up to his neck. I know he wouldn't get cold, but he still would do it just because it feels natural to him. And then waking up. Boop. Okay,
Wakey,
not hungry.
wakey, blood and
Not
bakey. Not hungry. All right. Yeah, as I mentioned, on your phone that you brought with you on the nightstand, you do see that there is an alert that you mildly remember. Oh yeah, that came in basically when we went to sleep last night.
All right. He'll take a look at his phone like, Braxis, is that you? What's that? And then he'll take a look and see what the alert says.
Opening up the phone, and the main reason why you have this alert, you actually see that it is a tweet, which is come in from Rick's Cabaret, which you know to be the location of Annette Dubois' personal base of operations here in the French Quarter, which is her allowed barony. And the tweet says, Renovations will commence as soon as we can. We appreciate the outpouring of support from the community. We're thankful that the fire didn't spread to too many other buildings. Rick's will be back as this historic landmark has been in New Orleans for many, many years. Much love.
Oh, what? 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 A fire? He looks over to Elijah. It's like, oh, he's going to be asleep for like an hour plus. Probably more than he looks over at the alcohol area and like how much alcohol is probably empty in the bottle. He's just like, yeah, probably more than an hour. Let me go ahead and see who. Nobody's normally awake around this time. I'll start to do some research online, to take a look and see if I can find more information as to what has happened regarding this.
It's very easy to find the information. There are news reports. A fire begins to sweep the French Quarter as the historic location of Rick's Cabaret within New Orleans has seemed to spark a blaze. Reports are coming in that the suspected arson is involved. It is unsure whether or not anyone has been harmed at this time. More reports to come in later. And then it shows reports of actually from the daytime with the fire brigades having come in and put out the fires and stuff. And you can see that Rick's and at least about 2 other buildings and about 5 other buildings on the left of it are just completely burnt to the ground. And the news report says the suspected arson is involved in the blaze which took place late last night in New Orleans. A number of people have been confirmed to have been deceased, and the proprietors of a number of the establishments have yet to be found. Bodies have yet to be found. Efforts are still continuing to dig through the rubble, and more reports will be incoming.
Now, to clarify, is Annette, which I think was the Baron, right? Was that also her place of residence, or was she located someplace different?
That you would not know.
I would not know that.
You know that Annette is not the official owner of Rick's Cabaret. However, Annette runs the neighborhood of the French Quarter from Rick's Cabaret. So even though she's not the from Rick's Cabaret, even though she's not the owner, this is her. Yeah, this is like the center of her domain, basically. You would not know if it is her haven or not, because I mean, you know, who would really know?
Exactly. So in that case, he's going to send a text out to his Malwa, Camille, to see like, Camille, I just saw the tweet. Is everything okay? They said people were injured. Do you know who was hurt?
I'm going to roll percentile dice quick, just to see if Camille is also an early riser or not.
Oh, okay.
She is indeed.
Okay.
So I will make a note that Camille is an early riser.
Makes sense. Mama Slubri wouldn't give her to someone with low humanity. I would assume.
This is true. She was chosen for a reason. She sends a note back that says, "Seems like a hit." Anarch owned community. We're not happy about things. We're discussing things with the prince. It seems like a hit.
Do you want me to see you? I could come see you.
I don't know if that's necessary right now. I think the best thing for you and for everyone, if you want to pass this along to as many people as you can, is stay vigilant. From what we've managed to uncover, this was not a hit on Annette per se. This is a hit on us. And she capitalizes the word us. We don't know if Annette is okay or not.
Ooh. Okay. I'm the first one to wake out. When everyone else wakes up, I'll let them know. Well, just stay safe, be careful. We also have some issues here at the house. Seems like people can teleport and take people away. And so yeah, it's kind of dangerous. So be careful out there.
She responds, sorry, you're going to need to explain that.
Oh, um, so there was, we don't know who, but someone took our friend Ricky. They were able to teleport through a portal and just yank him to someplace. I'm not sure how that happened. Um, so I have to. We try to see if we can find him. But yeah, things are really dangerous right now.
After you send the message, it's like less than a minute that the phone starts ringing.
Oh, he'll pick up immediately. Hello.
Sora, you need to describe this portal in detail to me. This is very important.
Okay. The portal. He'll describe. I can't recall the exact
That's
imagery per
okay.
se, but yeah, but he'll try. Of course, with his artistic mind, he'll be able to recall the exact imagery, most likely, of that portal. And he says, and and he would just yank through and just disappear. He said it smelled like death, death, death. So I'm not sure.
This is not good, Sora. This is not good. I can make a call for you to someone on my side of the fence, but it will cost you and your group a favor, likely a major boon. Not from me, but from them.
Well, I don't think I can. I have the permission to make a boon for the entire group, but I can do it for myself if that works.
Ask them first.
Okay. Okay, I'll ask them and see if they're okay with it.
Take
Yeah,
care,
but yes,
Sora.
you too. But it's really dangerous out here.
We will have some more training soon.
He was. I'm thinking the same thing because it's only getting worse from here.
The longer you live, the more that statement becomes true.
Why does it be this way? I wish I could just draw. My drawing was coming out so nice too. I wish I could show you the drawing I was doing of Elijah and me sitting next to the gate. But maybe that could come by later.
I'll try to come around tomorrow night or this weekend, and then you can
Okay.
show me.
Yes, that would be great. I'd like to see you.
Okay. Be careful, Sora.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey,
Around a few minutes later, everyone does start to rise from the day's sleep. Everyone, you can go ahead and make your rouse checks, please.
He's a little hungrier.
I mean,
I am not.
Andre's feeling fine still.
okay. We'll let the others do that next time when they're here. Sora, did you stay in the room waiting? This is in my head canon, but you can completely tell me if I'm wrong. My image, Sora just sat there in the room drawing and looking at Elijah all the time, waiting for him to wake up. But I don't know if I'm interpreting that correctly.
Oh no, that was 200% because the entire purpose was for them to stay together. So make sure they don't get nightcrawlered out into some off distance. So I mean, he would be continue to work on his drawing, but he's definitely also he could be able to use that as like a reference as he's working on it to help give that next photorealistic approach, which is what he likes to prefer. But yeah,
I
he's
would
definitely there to desire.
I would say draw me like one of your French girls, but this is draw me like one of your Russian boys. So.
Yep. Pretty much. A slight twist. A slight twist.
So Elijah, the moment you turn around after waking up, you see that Sora is probably intently looking at you and sketching.
Before he turns around, since he's just woke up, he very quietly says, Natalia, you're making noise. And then rolls over to like look and goes, Sora, why are you still doing it in my room?
Who's Natalia? Oh,
Never
remember.
you mind. He's gonna grab for his phone.
Oh, yeah. You might want to look at the tweet. It's really bad right now.
You have the same information that I've scrapped, Sora.
He's gonna call Annette.
There is no answer.
He's gonna call
The
her
subscriber you have dialed is not available presently.
He calls her Ghoul.
Same situation.
Gonna calls her again, just keeps calling her. It doesn't answer, hangs up, calls her again.
It's the same
No,
situation.
you can't do this to me. You can't do this to me. You can't do this to me.
Is everything okay?
She's not picking up. It's fine. It's fine. Maybe she left her phone behind. Maybe she just.
Just to recall, what did Camille say about Annette, that she was missing, right?
It's not confirmed that Annette is dead, but it is confirmed that the hit was on purpose on the buildings.
Mm-hmm. So
and they have confirmed, at least on the Kindred side, that this was a planned hit against Kindred.
So Sora will look towards the group. He says, so I was able to talk to my Mawa Camille, and she said that this was a planned attack. And it was meant to be an attack against us for some reason. So the news says people were hurt and injured, and some may be dead, but we're not really sure who. So that's another reason why I wanted to stay in this room, because I wanted to make sure you were safe.
I think I need to be alone right now.
No worries. I just wanted you to know, so therefore I could tell the others. Be careful.
Please go check on Sakura. Please check on Sakura.
And he kind of like nods as he heads out the door and starts to go ahead and tell the others about the circumstances.
Sakura, when you wake up, you feel a cold hand on your shoulder. And you see that Sheila has actually got her hand on your shoulder and has her cold, ghostly forehead pressed to yours. And her eyes are closed.
Sakura just hugs the little notebook and just whispers to Sheila, we're gonna get him back. We're gonna get him back.
She vanishes from sight. Andre, you spent the evening in your own haven or
Indeed.
at the university?
At the university again. With everything that's going on, the security that he has in place there it would make him feel more comfortable.
Okay. When you wake up in the morning, in the evening, vampire morning, in vampire morning, which is evening, when you wake up, you actually have a message on your phone. The message is actually from the sheriff. Gosh, I need my I have too many notebooks, guys. Too many RPGs. I'm looking for the right name. Gerard, Mr. Gerard Baxter. You only know it's from him because he has put his name at the end of the text, and it says, "I was informed that I should let you know that I've been informed that you may call upon me. That is all." Gerard Baxter.
Andre will go ahead and respond back, actually. The response will say, midnight, the Lounge View Gardens. And that's it.
A response does come back that just says, agreed. Will you be heading to the Coterie Haven after this?
Yes, after getting himself together, he'll go ahead and head to the Haven. He doesn't need to eat today, so he should be fine.
All right. So through the magic of editing, you are there, and Sora, I imagine, would be the first one that you come across. I'm not sure where Sakura would have been during this intervening time, but Sakura, you would have also seen all this information through your tweets and stuff, according to exactly what Sora had seen about Rick's Cabaret burning down and a number of buildings in the neighborhood burning down, etc.
Sakura would actually be in the library.
All right.
Yeah, so Sora, yeah, he would be kind of like waiting downstairs for like people to gather, because he knows the majority of our group normally seems to gather around the living room spaces when we have things to talk. So he's just sitting in the table, kind of like working on drawing for the group to appear to kind of present the information that he received, at least during this time.
Andre will join Sora in the living room and take a seat on one of the chairs.
Andre, perfect timing. So I talked to my Malwa. Did you see the tweets?
What's a tweet?
Oh, okay. So he kind of brings up the Twitter feed, of course. He says, so it looks like the fridge quarters, in the fridge quarters there was a hit on us. Right now it seems like a net, I think, is missing, because Elijah's tried calling her a few times and she's not picking up. But I talked to Camille, which is my Malwa, and she's going to keep us informed on what's going on there. But she says we all need to stay safe because something is definitely after us. Also, she said that she has some contacts for our situation with Ricky. Oh, wait, thanks. A connection with Ricky. But the contact that she says most likely it'll need to be a major boon for the entire coterie. So I said I could make that boon, but I can't make it for the entire coterie. I have to ask. So just asking to see how you all.
Let's make our decision on that after a few more things transpire. I will be meeting with the sheriff this evening.
Do I recall what was the clan of the sheriff? Did we know that or no?
You do not know the clan of the sheriff. It was not stated. However, at Elysium, everyone had seen the man's arm transform into a bone blade and decapitate the former Avenger Primogen.
Mm.
So you can draw any inferences from that you'd like.
Mm. All right. So at least he would assume that it's not Tremere. So he would scratch that off his head. And that's his main red flag. As long as he wasn't Tremere, he's like, okay, I'm good. So he says, okay. Did you want to talk to him by yourself, or do you want all of us to meet him?
We'll be meeting in Elysium, so I would wager that it is safe for all of you to attend. However, I suspect the sheriff will want to have some private words with me.
Do you even think that place is safe now? Because if the French quarters got attacked in any place, it's open season right now.
Safety is not a luxury that we are often afforded.
Mm-hmm. I was just assuming that maybe a place not so well known among kindred and out and like kind of like established, maybe an easier spot to do. Because I would assume maybe if those who are putting hints like that are doing it for them, then Elysium probably is in another mainstream target land.
Possibly, if those who are targeting our kind are aware of where the Elysiums are. Thankfully, New Orleans has a few. This should make it harder for them to sort out where exactly it is that we congregate. And as it pertains to our own kind, as I strongly suspect that the things that have been happening have not been orchestrated by kindred, rather something else orchestrating against kindred. The laws of Elysium should warrant all the protection that I'll need for this evening.
Okay, if you believe it's safe there.
Absolutely not. But harder to spring a trap.
That's true. Shoot, we could bring Lagatha Bernard. That's probably more protection.
Perhaps Lagatha Bernard might stand out a bit.
That's a good point. Okay, it sounds good. I was just going to go ahead and tell Sakura about this as well. I'm not sure if she was able to see it, but when were we supposed to meet?
My meeting with the sheriff is at midnight. That said, if all of you have other plans there while I'm addressing business, we wouldn't necessarily all have to arrive at the same time or even necessarily all go. I know that social gatherings are not among your favorite things.
Yes, I like to just stay in my room, which reminds me, he's going to take a look at his Amazon account to see 2 more days. Okay, I was like, hold on a second, how long has it been till my Bank of America door comes in? Because I was like, I mean, this is the perfect time for it to show up. So I still got 2 more days. He's like, oh, and you just hear him whisper, 2 more days, 2 more days. And then he looks down and says, he looks up and says, okay, I'll tell Sakura to see what everyone's plans is, and then from there we can see. Because I still think while it's okay not for everyone to go, we should definitely do the buddy system and make sure that no one's by themselves, because I feel it's really dangerous right now.
Fair.
Okay. All right. I'll go see what Sakura is doing.
Sakura is currently in the library in the Haven, correct?
Yes.
I have not checked our codary sheet in a while, but I can't remember. Did somebody
4.
put dots in library? 4 dots in library?
I don't know who, but there are 4 dots in library.
Your library is stacked. It might be
Mhm.
Michaela. It probably
Mhm.
Michaela. I
Yeah,
imagine.
Michaela was. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She put all of her dots in there, I believe.
All right.
So
So
go ahead.
Sakura has, in the interim, feels very, very useless and is looking up everything she can find on the demonic possessions and such, as well as any occult books that might help explain what the hell happened, and just anything useful.
Excellent. So you can make an intelligence and occult roll. You can add in the 4 for the dots of the library. So add 4 extra dice to the library.
Spending a willpower.
And if you would like to say Michaela is helping you, we can say Michaela is helping you. So you could add 2 dots for that. Because libraries are her thing, and I'm sure she would be helping you.
5.
5 successes. So Michaela has managed to get some really good and very interesting books here from the library. The most notable thing that there are some notable things that you come across. One of the documents that you come across are not one of the books that Michaela brought with her. This is a book that seems to have belonged in the house. It is a journal. And the journal seems to belong to the deceased Mary Fontaine, Sheila's mother. She goes on to talk about how, again, content warning, so content warning, folks, be aware. She goes on to talk about how she caught her, from her point of view in the diary, her daughter doing unsolicited or doing salacious things with her husband, and how she believes that her daughter is possessed of the devil and she will attempt to exorcise these demons from this child. And many of the diary entries revolve around her various attempts, and the descriptions are almost psychotic of what this mother put her child through, believing that her child was responsible for the things that her husband had been doing. And the final entry in this journal is to the effect of, one way or another, this will end today. So that's one thing you find with those 5 dots. The other thing that you find is a very old, interesting book that is Sakura was actually sorry, Sakura, Michaela, or Kenny, I guess. Kenny, library's Kenny's. Okay, all right. So Kenny had been told that this book was written by a kindred scholar. It is actually about demonology and what is known from this kindred of different second-hand accounts and third-hand accounts of beings which humanity has called them by various different names, but are referred to in this document as the fallen. And it denotes different abilities that are ascribed to these beings. It denotes that these beings do seem to have several different factions, and that some of the factions do take part in a form of possession. It is noted that these beings seem to derive a lot of their strength from faith or belief, a very strong belief. And there are a number of names that are listed that some of the beings have been known by. One of them is listed as being, so the way that this book is written is, because it's an older text, it's actually written as, this is what people believe. It's written in a very scholarly way, but a very dismissive scholarly way, as in, these are tales that the kind tell, we know the truth of where we came from. So it's almost written from a slight novice perspective, but also a dismissive sort of perspective. And it mentions a couple of names, and one of the names that it mentions in there as chief among these beings was one which they have referred to as the light bringer, or Lucifer. And as you are reading this, you and Michaela are reading this passage together, sitting in one of the other chairs in the library, suddenly there is a man in a very beautiful red and black suit, and he is exceptionally handsome, well-groomed back hair, and he has a tan skin and a great smile on his face, and he says, honestly, I don't know why they say I'm responsible for all these things. It's quite a bother. I mean, it's very easy to blame everyone's mistakes on the devil, but I never make anyone do anything. And that is where we will end our session for tonight.
Is that what you saw? You act like a diamond, you act like a star. You can't get your feelings to look at the sun, or see through the eyes of a human at all. Oh, that's when I told you that you sold yourself. Glittering, raining, scares ain't scary. The music's reflecting nothing at all. Your lips are shaking, your skin is shedding off.